Okay, I'm live. My name is Mike Caton. I'm from Ace Method Coaching. And what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be doing a review of a hurdle technique for 8 hurdlers. I know I said I was only going to do 5, but I'm such a sucker. I just have a hard time saying no to these young athletes. The people that I'm going to see today are Marquez, Bruce, Jamison, Sophia, Ty, Noah, Matthew, and Jared. And I'm going to do it in that order. Because I'm doing so many, I'm going to be brief, just so you'll know. If you want to be part of this, you can go to my website at acemethodcoaching.com, go to the hurdle page, and there's a couple of free things that I offer. One is a hurdle technique cheat sheet, and the other is this, where you can submit a video for a chance for me to review it on here. But the one thing to know is this is what I do for a fee usually, a more extensive version. Things that I provide, I have 3 instructional videos, one called Hurdling 101. That's where I can teach somebody who's an absolute beginner how to hurdle. Hurdling 201, which is I take somebody from that point with their, okay, they can get through a race, how to get them better. And hurdling 301 is somebody who wants to be really, really good at hurdling. That's that. Plus, I sell a hurdle training plan, and it is a complete, like 60-page document, all the workouts that you need to get through a high school season and get better and better and better as the season goes on, because too many hurdlers don't know what they're doing. Unfortunately, their coaches don't know much either, and they just do their own thing, or they just do a few workouts. This details all the workouts that you need from the beginning of the season, middle of the season, end of the season, to teach you how to do it, how to build your endurance, how to improve your technique, and get faster and faster as the season goes on. It has helped develop 62 state champions and finalists so far, and it could help you too. Plus also, like I said, I do this, but a more extensive version of what's called a virtual coaching session. You can either email me your video and I'll do a really, like I said, extensive review of it and send you some information, or we can do live on a Zoom call where we'll do it together. Either way, what you're seeing today is just a small sampling of how it goes. Okay, so I am going to jump right in. Let me change my screen real quick. Go to here, and I'm going to look at Marquez first. Marquez is this individual right here in lane 1. He's doing a 300-meter hurdle. He is a senior in high school, and he's been hurdling for 7.5 years. He wants to know how to get better with his non-dominant leg and then also his steps. This video, I looked at it, only shows his first 2 or 3 hurdles, but we'll see what we can see. This guy almost runs into you. Okay, let me cue this up real quick. Okay, so I'm going to play that back, but I'm going to go slower so I can count your steps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay, first off, feels like most high school boys, certainly seniors, can do this in 21, 22 steps. Let me see this again. Okay, the other thing that I will tell you, and you don't hear this very often, you are running with a really high knee lift, which is more indicative, and pretty small heel recovery, which is really good if you're running the 100 and the 200. But running a 300 or 400, it takes a whole lot of energy to do this. And if you look at all the elite 400 and 300 meter hurdlers, they use much more backside heel recovery and less knee lift. They cover more ground per stride, so you can actually take less steps. I have a video, check out on my YouTube channel, about running the 300 hurdles. And then I also have one that talks about the long sprints, the technique for long sprints, and it talks to you about how to run different for these longer ones. I recommend you watch that. That might be something that can help you a lot because it will save your energy for later in the race. Okay. The other thing that I will say, because here you're going to do right leg. So, and then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so again, you're taking 16 steps, which is better than 17, but you're right, now it's going to put you on your least favorite leg, okay? And that's not good form, which we'll talk about in a second. But let me see what you got here. So that's step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So you took 17 steps here and then went again with your non-dominant leg. So back to the steps. If I were coaching you, I would teach you how to change your stride to run this race better. I had a hurdler just like you. And we switched it. By the end of the season, he was running 38 seconds in the 300 meter hurdles. So I would change my stride so I can do this in 15 steps to the hurdle, or in between hurdles, or maybe 16 steps, but not what you're doing. Okay, you're taking too many steps because your stride is too short because of your low heel recovery and your knee lift, probably from all the coaching that you've gotten over the years to how to be a good sprinter. But you need to rethink that when you do a long race like this, okay? But to answer your question is, how do you get better at your non-dominant leg? Number 1 is you do all your drills with both legs. Also put out hurdles at a spacing that you could, say, 5-step them and go them only over with your non-dominant leg to get good at it. And then you do what I call a 6-step drill. A 6-step drill is when you put the hurdles out at a spacing, put like 4 of them out at a spacing that you can run 6 steps between them. And you'll go, right leg, then next time left leg, then right leg, then left leg. And you'll be really good with your dominant leg, but bad with your non-dominant leg. But over time, you'll get better at it, and you're switching. And then gradually, as you want to gradually spread out those hurdles. So you have to run faster and faster and faster till eventually you're going full speed with both legs. That's something I do. This is all detailed in my hurdle training plan. I have an athlete's version, which, by the way, comes with being entitled to a weekly Zoom session with me, with everybody else using this plan. So I highly recommend it for anybody who's looking at this. So moving on, Bruce. Bruce is a youngin'. Bruce is under 11, but he is a very good hurdler. This is also, I believe, in Africa. Oh, change the speed here. So Bruce is right here in lane 1. He's very fast, very good at this, but unfortunately has somebody who is also really good next to him here. I coach some other hurdlers, young hurdlers from South Africa, but I don't recognize this track. So you don't look like somebody who just started hurdling. You look like you've been doing it for a while. Bruce's question was how to get the lead leg down faster and how to increase speed between the hurdles. Okay, so I can help you with both of those things, Bruce. I'm going to go right here. Okay, your lead leg looks pretty nice. In fact, overall, you're really, really good. Really good. You're too high over the hurdle, which is part of the reason why your lead leg doesn't come down very fast, is because when you're high, you have to wait for gravity to pull you down, and speed of gravity is the same for all objects, so you can't speed it up. Your competitor is way lower over the hurdle. So if you look at him, he's not dropping off the end of the hurdle. I don't know why the video is doing that, but he just goes flat right off it into running, and you have to wait to land and then run. It's pretty obvious to me because I look at so many videos. You're just too high. So you need to learn to have more confidence to drive your lead leg knee right at the top of this hurdle and stay lower, and therefore you will touch down faster. That is your number one issue. And the other is, if you want to be quicker between the hurdles, you need to have a little less backside heel recovery. You see the way your leg is behind you so far, and it goes way back behind you, and your leg is here, and then your heel is going to come up to hit your butt from the backside, versus your competitor here. His recovers a little faster. Like, it's hard. Well, let me see if I can. So your heel comes up before your knee moves forward, whereas his, right here, his knee moves a little forward at the same time his heel comes up. That's one of the things you look for to know if it's low, quicker stride. But that's what I would do, okay? I talk about that in my Hurdling 201, by the way. I got a lot of good stuff to sell. Okay, Jamison. Jamison is in 10th grade, second year hurdling. Feels like his trail leg needs to be more efficient. I like how educated so many people are these days who are asking me questions, like they've already analyzed themselves. My pride is telling me that you've been watching my videos, or maybe you got my hurdling technique cheat sheet, so you already know some things. So, or maybe not. Maybe you learned it from someone else, but I'm going to pretend like I told it to you. Okay, so let me tell you what I see so far, Jamison. It's a cool name, by the way. See how your arms are swinging side to side? They're just, you need to tighten up your arms, especially that left arm. It just kind of, they're all over the place, okay? You're right, the trail leg isn't great. Also notice, I'm noticing that you're running in training shoes, like flats. And then also, which is not bad. I cannot tell from the camera where you're spaced. Like, I don't know if you're already reduced. Maybe you told me that. Somebody on the email mentioned that, but I don't know if it was you. But the fact that, okay, here's what I'm gonna make some assumptions. I'm gonna assume that you're somewhere in the U.S., somewhere in the South, or somewhere where the weather's pretty warm, because it's only February and you're already wearing shorts and no sleeves, where, some of us are still really, really cold right now. So if that's the case, that means you're in preseason or you're early on. And so I recommend in the preseason or very early in the season like this, not to run with full spacing at practice. Pinch them into something that you can be comfortable with. And then certainly early in the season, you're just not used to it. And so you don't have the speed and the technique down yet. Even if you're a returner, always pinch the hurdles in to something that you don't have to reach so far. Because look how the fact that I can see the bottom of your shoe means that you're reaching too far in front of you. This is terrible. Putting on the brakes really, really bad, which you lose speed, okay? So you want to run on the balls of your feet, get your feet underneath you, push back on the track versus jamming your leg forward into the ground, into the track in front of you, putting on the brakes. This is also going to put you up too high over the hurdle. And you're right about your trail leg. It just ends up going... Okay, so unfortunately, the camera only gets you from the front. Had I seen you from the side, I would have been able to say some other things. But basically, you want to push off really hard off this left leg. Your lead leg moves nicely. Your lean is good. Your arms are good. But as soon as you push off, you want to tuck this heel right to your butt, and then also see how your leg is hanging low. At this point right here, certainly right here, yeah, your thigh should be sticking straight out from the side of your hip with your knee almost as high as your hips. So you go over that hurdle like a dog that's peeing, and then you pull it through. So you need to basically start from the beginning, go back to the basics with a trail leg drill on the wall, and then do it skipping, jogging, from slower to faster to get better. By the way, this is all outlined in my hurdling 101 and 201. Okay, moving on to Sophia. Sophia is a 7th grader who's 5 foot tall and she wants to know, she says she can't 3-step. Sophia, you don't hurdle like a 7th grader. You look way too good. So you've probably been doing this for a while. Also, you're 4-stepping very, very well. Here's what I don't know. A 7th grader who's 5 foot tall probably can't 3-step. I wouldn't even try, because you look really comfortable and really good strides 4-stepping. If you were to 3-step, you'd have to stretch out with really long strides, and those would be slow strides. You're running with 4 really fast strides. So you're probably really, really good in your age group. It does look, though, that you're a little too close to the hurdle. So you could probably get away with little tinier strides, slightly. I'm talking just a couple inches. Multiplied by 4 steps would give you 8 to 10 inches, okay? And you would be doing great. So stick with the 4 for now. Be good at both legs, because when you move up and you start doing 300 hurdles, you're going to be glad that you can do both legs. I think you're doing great. Plus, you asked me for a whole lot of free stuff that I sell with my training plan and basically, this is what I'm giving you for free is this analysis. So go to my website and check some things out. Okay, moving on to Thai. Spelled Thai, like Thai food. And somebody from Thailand or Taiwan, I'm not sure. Anyway, so Thai is in the 11th grade, second year hurdling, wants to know how to get his steps faster between the hurdle. He's also tall, over 6 foot. Okay, so I'm going to jump right in. Let me just say, overall, you look good. You have a nice rhythm. I have a lot of really good stuff to say here. I just don't have time to say them all. Just know that I think you're doing great. But you want to know how to get faster between the hurdles, and it has to do with your stride. So watch this. This is a pretty good touchdown. This is also good, and what I'm looking at is this leg comes down really well. You're landing on the balls of your foot. The one thing I would say is your back knee here is a little bit behind. Okay, it's all pretty good. I would just work harder. Okay. I would work harder to strike the ground on the balls of your foot. Here's what you should do. You should imagine jumping rope. And the way that your feet strike the ground when you jump rope, how you'll strike the ground on the ball of your foot, your heel might come down, but when it does, your ankle is kind of tight and foot is rigid, your ankle is rigid, and your heel comes down and maybe or maybe not touches the ground, but all the pressure stays on the ball of your foot. Think about that. And then jog in place, having your feet do the same thing. Feel that sensation. And then when you sprint, that's the way you need to strike, underneath you, on the balls of your feet, just like that, with rigid feet, rigid ankles, like tight springs. You'll be faster, because it looks like, to me, there's just kind of a softness there. So I have my hurdlers who have issues like yours jump rope a lot and alternate legs just to get used to that feeling. In fact, it's part of our warm-up progression for all of my sprinters and hurdlers. It's the last thing we do during the dynamic warm-up before we go jog a couple laps around the track is to jump in place and then jog in place to build that sensation. That's what I would do. This is all mentioned in my Hurdling 201, by the way. Okay, moving on to Matthew. Oh, here it is. I panicked for a second. Okay, Matthew, 11th grade, third year hurdling. Feels like he's losing speed over the hurdles. Okay, somebody else mentioned that too. Oh, you know what? I just skipped Noah. Sorry, Matthew, I'll come back to you. It was Noah, I think. Yes. Both of you guys have the same, are saying the same thing, in that you're losing speed. But by the way, Noah is 11th grade, third year hurdling. Feels like later on with hurdles 8, 9, and 10, losing speed. He wants to know why. Okay, well, let me say something. I think you look really good. Let me back it up. I want to see it in full speed. Oh, well, let's see you do a few hurdles. But that looked good. So, you got a lot really good going on here. So, okay, this touchdown is really nice. This looks almost elite, or does look elite, okay? So that's about perfection. The only thing, okay, the same thing that I just said to Ty. So if you're just jumping into your video, go back and see what I told Ty about striking the ground. It's almost like the same thing is happening here. I'm not going to repeat myself. So watch watch that one. But what I like is you touch down really nice. You roll right into it. The trail leg looks fantastic. This step right here, this is elite, my friend. This is really good stuff. So somebody I was just talking to, maybe it was Ty, I was trying to get your knees together. The way Noah does this is what you want. Okay, and then here we go for the second step. Knees are together. But notice that you landed flat foot. And then the last one, this is a really pretty good step as far as the angle, the position of your body. But you just are landing flat-footed. You're losing power. You're losing a spring off the track, okay? And then the other thing that I would say, I don't know if these hurdles are official spacing, because I see the mark here. I think it is, or really, really close. So my comment to you would be, again, if you're like somebody else I was just speaking to, I think it was Jamison. Look, it's so early in your season. It's very, very normal to early season to not have your speed endurance built up, not have your efficiency built up to where you can get through 10 hurdles without losing gas. Because I don't see anything really wrong with your technique that is telling me that you're slowing down a lot. So it could be you just need to just have time to build up your speed endurance, your hurdle endurance. And I don't know what your training plan is like, but a good training plan in the early part of the season is working on technique and a lot of endurance. And then as the weeks go on, you're building up more speed endurance, doing certain things for that. And then speed, and then pure raw, full speed at the end. You go through a cycle in order to get better and better. So I would basically say, ease up. Don't put so much pressure on you. Know that it's going to come, but you need a good training plan. If you don't, go to my website. I got a really great one. Okay, now to Matthew. So Matthew had a similar thing, losing speed. Okay, here's what I'll say by looking at, I'll wait till this. You look, okay, let me go and look at it full speed here. Okay, so you're right. You look good. You look like you know what you're doing. You have some good experience. You got a whole team of good hurdlers, it looks like, to practice with. Everybody has the same uniform, even the row behind you. Maybe you're a club. I don't know. But I will say that I am noticing a slow turnover, partly because you're reaching so far to get to the next hurdle, and the strides just don't look particularly fast. A lot of backside heel recovery. Okay, and here's what I thought too. You're reaching the peak or the apex of your jump right here to here, which is above and past the hurdle. You're supposed to reach that about a foot or so in front of the hurdle and then come down on the hurdle. What you're doing, I'm not sure if you're too close or you're just taking too high of an angle, but look how far away from the hurdle you are. You should be touching down about right here, and you're landing about a foot and a half past that. So you could probably back up a foot or so, dive straight at the top of the hurdle, come down right here, and you'll be a lot quicker, okay? And then practice with the hurdles pinched in closer so you can work on quick steps and build that into your nervous system, and then translate into that to a race, okay? I know you might be thinking, but that's not the distance I race at. It doesn't matter. I talk so much about this in so many videos. I'm not going to do it right here. Also, all this is outlined in all of the Hurdle 201. and then also in my training plan. But take my what do I want to say? Trust me on that. Okay, moving on to Jared. Jared, who honestly, Jared, I wasn't going to review this video, but you happened to reach back out to me, and I'm such a softie that I threw it in here. The reason being is because when you're in a race, unless it's really clear to see you amongst all your competitors, is not my ideal because it doesn't make for good social media shorts. And also the lighting is bad on this one. But I feel for you, brother. I know you got a race coming up this weekend that you really want to do well in. So Jared is in lane 3 right here. He's got some really killer competition to his right. Jared has been hurling for 3 years. This is his 3rd year, 11th grade. And it just feels like he's not fast enough and also not happy with his arms and wants some advice. Okay. Let me just say, let me look at your foot strike. See, it's hard to tell because there's so many other legs around you. This is part of the reason I don't usually choose videos like these. Okay, here's the last one going into the hurdle. And I can see that you got your legs out in front of you, landing on your heels. So you're putting on the brakes, okay? The lead leg moves pretty well. I like that. The arms look good. Trail leg looks nice. This looks good. Looks good. But you're very far away from that hurdle. You should be touching down about a foot or so back, maybe a foot and a half back. And you'd be quicker. You'd come down off that hurdle quicker. But this form looks really nice. So let's see if we can figure out, maybe you're just too close taking off. I'm not really sure because I don't have a good angle on you. But flat foot right here, and you're squatted down, reaching, landing, looks like a flat foot there. You want to be up tall like a sprinter. And see, here's one of my issues. See how I lose you here in the sunlight? But I can see that you're stepping out well too far in front of your center of mass, which means you're possibly on your heel or at least a flat foot, and it's just putting on the brakes. You want to, as I've said a million times, get on the balls of your feet, get them underneath you, turn over those legs quicker. And in your case, either, because I can't see it really well, either take off from a little farther back or just go flatter over this hurdle so that you don't land so far in front of the hurdle, and you'll be quicker. Okay? I would also recommend practicing with them pinch closer so you can work on your turnover, the rhythm of your hurling better. Okay, so here's something I can see here. Yes, you might be you're probably too close. But notice that when you are going over the hurdle, like right here, your heel is right above the hurdle. It should start staying flat or going down at this point, but yours still keeps climbing. So you're still jumping up at the hurdle. So back out a little bit, back away, jump flatter, reach your top right here, and then start coming down on the hurdle. Don't jump up at the hurdle, and you'll be quicker, and you'll maintain more speed between all of those. Okay? Whew. Okay, really quick, I'm going to bounce out to here. I'm done reviewing. I have no questions to answer, so I can get on to dinner. I hope everybody has a good weekend. Again, if you want my help, acemethodcoaching.com. And know that I only choose a handful of these each week. I get a lot more than this. If you really want me to review your video and do a much better job than I did here today, sign up for a virtual training. You're welcome, Jared. Virtual coaching session. and you'll get a lot more out of it. It's definitely worth it. It's a money back guarantee. Everybody says they're happy and they're glad they did it. You will be too. That's it. Until next week, Coach Ace out. Everybody have a good week.